Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's 2020 officially, and this is not just the beginning of a new day, the beginning of a new year, but the beginning of a new decade. And let's just say it's the beginning of the first day of the rest of your life. So Happy New Year from me to you. I recently sent you a little download as I was walking on Red Rock right before Christmas, or on Christmas, and just thought I would do the same thing, take you with me on a walk on Red Rock. And I wanted to, this is my intent. Every year for New Year's, I always have an intention for myself, and sometimes it repeats. For the longest time, it was my charge is to enlarge. And I would say not my butt, not my thighs, but the size of my heart. So every time I would be challenged in the year, I would just envision that my job was to get bigger than the challenge so that it was manageable. Anything that got thrown at me was manageable and handleable. And that has served me well, and I really like that one. And I feel like if we have an intention that we like and we work, it becomes a part of us. And then when it's time to move on, we move on. Not that we've mastered it necessarily, but hey. Okay, so my intention this year is living in the Whoosh. Whoosh. I think that's how I'm spelling it. Dana, my husband, pointed out that Woosh is pronounced whoosh, and this is more of a whoosh. So this is a term I've been playing with for a while, and it represents to me a state of being in the zone, being in the sweet spot, being in that place of co-creativity with God, nature, the universe, being connected, and being in that place where it's like, in the zone, where all the things that might otherwise bother me or hurt my feelings or trip me up don't. They just bounce off. It's like being in that whoosh. So I thought, because I like acronyms, I would break it down, because I know I've talked to some people about being in the whoosh, and sometimes seems like our experience with it, my experience in the past, has been, well, how do I get there? And when it happens, it's kind of a happy accident, and then it goes away in some ways as quickly as it got there. But what if it wasn't an accident? What if being and living in the whoosh could be a way of life? So if that's possible, I believe it is. I believe it's perhaps just part of the 2.0 of being human, being luminous in our humanness, so to speak. That's the new book I'm working on, by the way. So I've got luminous humanness on the brain. So I'm going to break down how to get into the whoosh. So the W stands for wake up. One of the stories in my Chicken Soup for the Soul, Dreams and the Unexplainable book was called, I believe it was called Wake Up. Anyway, it was about a woman who has this dream where another woman is approaching her in a bar with a drink, and she gets close to her, and she's like kind of seductive. And as soon as she gets close to her, she smacks her on the head with the glass, breaking the glass and causing the drink to spill all over her. And she yells, "Wake up!" So the woman who's dreaming wakes up and realizes that she herself had picked up her own glass from her own nightstand, hit herself on the head, spilled the drink, spilled her water all over her. So she sat up and thought, oh my God, what kind of wake-up call am I trying to give myself? What kind of wake-up call would be this extreme? And you'll have to read the story to get all the details, but basically she'd been living her life in a very safe and controlled way. Good morning. Happy almost New Year. I'm on my street, so my neighbors pop out and you get to be a part of that. So she decided to journal, Like, what is it that I need to wake up to? And she realized that she had been off track with her life, and she began writing. And this is something that she'd always wanted to do but hadn't quite done. And in the writing, she discovered a whole new career path for herself. And she moved to Mexico and has this completely different, radically different and beautiful life because of this wake-up call. So I like the idea of this wake up, this part of us that yells at us sometimes and just like shakes us and maybe pours water on us and like smacks us on the head. Wake up, like out of the trance of the slog of what life can be when we're stuck in the 3D. So the W in whoosh is for wake up. And then the H is for heart. It's for, and I like to just touch my heart at this moment. Like, just imagine that I'm living from the heart instead of living from my head, living from my mind, allowing my heart to expand and be like, so that I'm kind of a human heart. Whoa. There's a whole, if you haven't already heard of heart math, it's a whole study of, and a whole way of, it's a whole path, it's a whole spiritual, metaphysical path. And I know one of the things that hooked my attention about that is the power of our heart versus the power of our mind. And you can actually calibrate it and measure the power and the potency of our heart energy. So when we breathe into our hearts, when we allow our heart to enter the room before we do, when we allow our heart to do the thinking for us, then we tend to make better decisions and things tend to go better. It makes it easier to get into the whoosh. Okay, so the first O is for open. Open to the qualities that you want to open to this day. So it might be open to abundance, open to joy, open to passion, open to love, open to security, open to serenity, open to what you're desiring today, what quality you wish you had, open to it and have it now. And that brings us to the next O, which stands for own it. So now own those qualities so that you're not just open and hoping to get those qualities, but you own that you are in fact them, that they are you. You have them, you rock them, you live them, you breathe them, you eat them, you poop them, sorry, you share them. They are who you are. Okay, that brings us to the shh. And the shh stands for shh, like shush, keep it inside. Keep the internal joy, the bliss, that feeling tone that you've cultivated. Keep it internal, keep it inside. Shh, just be quiet, be calm, be easy with it. And then shh also stands for share it, when you're ready to share it, when you feel that you truly are embodying the awesome energy that you want to behold that day, and you feel that you are finally in the whoosh, then go ahead and share. So in a way, we're going from internal to external, holding your own space, holding your own container, and then once you've got it, let it go. I hope this is making sense. Whoosh. I wish you have a whooshful new year. And again, the whoosh stands for, W is for wake up. And the H is for heart centered. And the first O is open to the qualities that you want to embody. And then the next one is own those qualities that you are embodying. And then shh, simmer with it inside. Let it be an internal, yummy container of serenity, sanctuary. And then shh is for then share it. When moved, when overflowing, share from the overflow. So that's my recipe for getting into the whoosh. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to know how you do it. I'd love to know if you want to hear more about how other people do the whoosh. I'd love to hear how you get into the whoosh and what the whoosh means to you, or what questions you have about it. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, and they said, but how can you be in the whoosh when there's an emergency, when there's like a 911 happening? And we talked about the ways that you could do that, and how do you get into a whoosh if you've got practical things that you have to do? Like, doesn't that take you out of getting your stuff done? Can you be in the whoosh and still do your life and not watch your life wash on by? So yes, all of those things. So what questions do you have? What thoughts do you have? What occurs to you? What does the whoosh mean to you? All of that for you, and I wish you a happy, happy new year, happy 2020, and happy everything you do. May you have ultimate clarity this year, 2020 vision inside and out. May your wildest and most wonderful dreams all come true. Sweet dreams.